Morning. Welcome to The Best Getting Better. My name is Steve Lentini. We do this every week. I help salespeople change how they show up in life, how they think, how they manage their thinking, and I help them close more sales with a method that it's not traditionally taught, and I learned it by doing it. And what I found is that how we show up and the energy we project makes a difference, and that our thinking makes a difference, and that in most sales training is repetitive. It's talking about what to say, how to say it, a lot of role plays. Those days are over, and today you're not really selling anything. You're helping people buy because they can get so much information on the web. I was talking to a gentleman this weekend who owns a printing business, and he said to me, Steve, are people upselling? Are they teaching their customer service people to upsell? And what about customer service? So I have a program called Quality Rated Customer Service, qualityratingservice.com. And so people can become a quality rated company. And the fact is they have to enroll their customer service people in actually taking ownership, taking responsibility for the customer service level. So what I find is most companies teach people where they have to say no. It's crazy. Instead of teaching people where to say yes, and here's what we can say yes to, and actually teaching customer service people to break the rules. Customers love that. And yet, how many people have you spoken to in the last 5 years that you call them to complain and they want to defend the rules? I'm sorry, that's the rule. We couldn't do that. We have to say no. So one of the great books for salespeople and customer service is by William Ury, The Power of a Positive No. And here's how William Ury teaches people to say no. I'm sorry, we couldn't say yes to that, or we couldn't say yes to that. Would you like to hear what we could say yes to? Let me work on saying yes to that for you. Let me work on that. Let me check with my supervisor and I'll get back to you. You know, a lot of people today can't even call people back. I'm sorry, I'm restricted from calling people back because they don't trust their employees, right? They don't trust their employees. They don't trust that they wouldn't, they'd make maybe a personal call. I mean, doesn't everybody have cell phones today? Give them 5 minutes every hour to check their phone. New York State has text stops, rest areas. They're not rest areas. They're text stops every so many miles on Interstate 87 going north from the city. Give your employees a text stop. Let them check their phone every once in a while. And then have them call people back, customers back. It's crazy what people are doing in customer service. And then upselling. I know salespeople, when they're in front of a customer, that don't mention anything about, they don't bring in a new product, or they don't bring, they don't inquire about, so I'm glad you have our level 1, 2, 3 in our software. And we have a few other things I'd like to talk about that I think you might find value in. How do you like our level 1, 2, 3? And that would begin the conversation. Okay, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about some of these, the other two ideas I have that might be a fit for you? You mind if I ask you a few questions? Let's figure out together if it's a fit. So now you're helping them buy. And that's really the place you want to be. And you're upselling, you're doing your job. People know you're a salesperson. So when I go in to see someone new, I like to say, I'm not selling anything for now. First, I want to help you find the fit. I want to help us both determine, are we a fit? Does it make sense to move forward? It takes the pressure off. It takes the pressure off. The other thing I'm doing is I'm managing the energy that I project, and I manage the thinking in my head. Most people don't manage the thinking in their head. I had a guy tell me he doesn't believe in the power of the subconscious. He doesn't believe in it. He doesn't believe that what shows up in life is his creation, right? So that makes him a victim of circumstance. We're not victims of circumstance. We have power. We're creating our world. So if things aren't working, you're not working somewhere. I'm sorry to deliver that news. The fact is, it's the truth. You, though, don't believe me. You have to test it for yourself. Determine if you have power. If you believe you don't have power, then live in that world. It's okay. You should click out of this if it's uncomfortable, because you're not going to experiment. I tell all my clients and students, some that have been with me for 15 years or longer, to make that inquiry themselves. Determine for yourself if you have power. Don't believe me. Don't believe anyone who tells you they have the answer. There is no one that has the answer. There's no religion that has the answer. There wouldn't be so many religions. We live in something mysterious, whatever you call it. We live in something fabulous, miraculous, and you can bring that energy with you on a sales call. How do you do it, Steve? How do you do it? People ask me. You silently wish people joy, success, and happiness. As Deepak Chopra often has said, would you go to someone's house for a dinner without bringing a gift? You can bring a gift wherever you go. Wherever you go. And yes, are there crazy events that happen that are beyond our control? We don't have to look far for those examples in our lives. Just this weekend, in fact. And there's crazy events all over the world all the time. And there's weather events that are out of our control. See, there now we're tested by our response to them, because we're here to learn and grow. There are going to be crazy people that do crazy things because they believe they have to change the status quo by violence. The fact is, status quo has changed all the time by nonviolence. Look at Mahatma Gandhi, or look at what Martin Luther King accomplished and that whole civil rights movement accomplished. Peacefully, generally peacefully. Same with Mahatma Gandhi. He had followers that wanted to do crazy things and that did some crazy things. He did not. And his whole movement accomplished something no one thought possible. And it started in his mind. And same with Martin Luther King and all the people who wanted something better. That's where it started. First, thinking. So your thinking has to be in line to accomplish anything great. There has to be a subconscious belief level that you can do it no matter what. See, no matter what. You keep going with what you believe and what you see for yourself. So it's important that you love what you do and that you have some passion for it and you see success for yourself. Then when the negative voices come in, and they do, our own mind wants to make us believe, enroll us, I call it, that we can't do something, or that we're not worthy. All those voices are crazy. It's not true. Whatever you decide is true becomes true. That's where the subconscious mind has power. So you're doing something you love, it enlivens you, and you bring that energy with you wherever you go, and you silently wish people joy, success, and happiness. I bless people as well, silently, because I believe it's a great energy. You can get the book, The Gentle Art of Blessing by Pierre Pradavant. It's a great book. And he tells many, many stories where it benefited him and many other people that he'd been teaching and has taught. Okay, so in sales, you're managing your energy and you're actually doing your customer and your employer a service by talking about what else you do. What else you do. If you believe in it and you love it, then you want to talk about, are there other things that they're looking for? Are there other challenges they have in their business? Have they considered changing anything when it comes to what you're considering offering as an upsell? Because change is what most people are afraid of. I know people who leave from one employer to go to another and bring their customers, and oftentimes they're shocked that they don't bring every customer. In fact, experience shows the ones you think will come don't often, and the ones you think won't do. Here's the thing. Your response to people who enroll with you is to let them have whatever space they are in. That's the second key. So let's suppose that you're positive, you love what you do, you bring a great energy with you, you're silently wishing people wonderful things and they don't go with you. The fact is, that's okay. What the people that enroll with you, ask them what they liked about what you offered, what they liked about the process. What was it that led them to make the decision to go with you? Right now you understand why. Then for the people that didn't, later on you could go back and ask them, why didn't you go with us? Why was it that you didn't enroll? Was it anything that I did? How was my presentation? Find out from people. Why be afraid? I have a 360 process that I do with coaching clients, and I have them send out questions asking their top 5 strengths, their top 5 weaknesses. How do I show up to you? Sometimes people are confused by that question, but many others answer it very well, saying, oh, the guy or the gal is sometimes arrogant, sometimes angry. They're also a very good person. I understand who they are, but they don't see this. They don't see this. This is what you have to learn in life, right? Learn about the things that you don't know, and that's another way to improve. And so anyway, some people are afraid of feedback. They're afraid. I've had people, guys and gals, who resist the 360. And some of them will try to make my process wrong. I've done more than 5 questions and more than 5 strengths, more than 5 weaknesses. I've done it many different ways. And I've settled on a process that I like, because there's only so much a person can change. And there's only so much feedback that you can take at one particular moment in time. And so you break it down, right? You heard the saying, I swallow the elephant one bite at a time. So if I give them 5 things to improve, and we do it over a process of 10 months, a couple at a time, when you change, things change. It has to, right? Because this is a cause and effect world, unless you live somewhere else. Some people live somewhere else. Okay, so here's the process. You have energy. You love what you do. You have passion. You're silently wishing people joy, happiness, and success. Maybe you also add in a blessing. It's up to you. You don't have to do it. You do it and you test it, right? And now you're asking people, you're upselling, so that but you're not upselling. You're helping people buy. You're making them aware of everything that you do. And you're checking in with people to see, are there things in their business that they could use other help with? And you have some things. Would they like to hear about some of the other things that you think? Would they like to hear about some of the other things that you think would be helpful? Now, too, you're asking for feedback. Hey, when you did make this change and you enrolled with us a few years ago, what was it that you liked? What about the process that you liked? What about the product? Would you mind telling me about the product today? Would you refer me if someone inquires? If I send you someone for a testimonial, would you do that? Then you go to the people that haven't purchased from you, that said no, and let them have their space. Give them respect that it didn't work out. It wasn't a rejection. It just wasn't a fit. You get it? It's not personal. Nothing's personal. Even the universe isn't personal. People want to think that there's something up in the sky in white robes and a long gray beard. I've had a death experience. I happen to know there is consciousness without my body, and it's just the present moment on steroids. And it's the most wonderful place, by the way. We have nothing to fear. Funny, Westerners often fear death, but it's just another moment, and we go from this to something else, and it's wonderful. There's no judgment day, by the way. The judgment day is here, but that's for another day. That's for another day. Just telling you what I experienced. You can email me or phone me if you'd like. I'll probably get a lot of emails on that comment. Okay, so here we are. Because we're human and we live in this world of opposites, we've got to experience the no so we appreciate the yes. The no is just moving you closer to someone. You move on to someone else, or maybe you leave space because you respect them and you're blessing them and wishing them joy, health, happiness, and success. I've had $1 million sales come back to me. $1 million sales more than once come back to me when I let them go totally and let them have the space they were in. If you read my book, Sales Success for the Rookie, How to Succeed at Sales Right from the Start, I have stories in here about amazing sales that I totally let go and offered to help them. And they called me back to accept my help. I left them with little nuggets, little seeds that said, hey, if you run into this while you're deciding, call me, I'll help you with it. And in 2 instances, they called me back after 3 or 4 weeks and after more than a month. And I closed both of those sales eventually. I helped them buy. I also have a chapter in this book, Imagine 30 Days to a New You, by Justin Sachs and 29 leading experts. I'm one of the experts. Page 222 is my chapter. Go on Amazon and buy the book. Justin Sachs, Motivational Press, great company. They do everything they say they're going to do. They published that book, of course, in a relatively short time. Justin is amazing. And then he published my book, Motivational Press, as you can see right here, is my publisher, and they did a great job. They did everything they said they would do. Okay, so you have an energy that you can control and you can project. And if you love your work, if you don't love your work, get out of it. Get out of it. Start looking for something. Spend some time quietly and say, what is it that I would love to do? If you don't love your work and you don't want to make a change right now, then love your work. Start to love the moment, just moment by moment. This is all we have. I was here 1 second, literally doing a seminar and then gone the next, right? It's a long story. I won't share it for today, but I'm giving you little tidbits about it because it's important to understand we live in something much bigger than we see, much bigger than we see. If you've ever read the book by Lisa Randall, Warped Passages, she's an amazing physicist that talks about just like there's a world below us that we can't see, right? There's many, many microscopic things that we cannot see. There's also a larger world above us that we cannot see. And so it's to stretch one's mind from the limited to the limitless and to bring that with you. So if you don't like your job, like the moment, be in the moment and like everything in it, little by little, one moment at a time. Like your customers, like your boss. Even if you don't like your boss, like your boss. Tell your mind you like your boss. Silently wish him joy, success, and happiness. Don't live in a bitter world because people can sense that energy. Live in a joyous, happy world. When you're here for the moment, be grateful. Have some gratitude for the moment. Okay, now you bring that energy with you and you start to ask people about what it is that what other things that they're looking for. Hey, mind if I show you a couple of other things that we do? Teach your customer service people and your support people in the company to love what they do. You're the salesperson. You're a leader. You teach people around you. You teach people around you to love the moment and to not complain about the company and to find a way to support the company in a positive way. And then you tell leadership, listen, you can tell them to call me. You can tell them to view this video, to find ways to let customer service win and to help your customers win and to say yes and teach them about breaking the rules. You can tell them about my quality rated customer service program. Maybe they'll become a quality rated company and hang my banner on their building. Hey, we're a quality rated company. So my point is how you show up in life and how your company shows up in life, how your customer service people show up in life. You're not powerless. You have power. Speak up because it's important to the success of the company, right? Mahatma Gandhi got rid of outside rule in India by just speaking up and continually speaking his mind. So you speak your mind. it's the right thing. And if it's the right thing and you're supporting the right thing, all that energy will be appreciated and be recognized. And you might have to be uncomfortable for a while. You might have to be uncomfortable. You'll be proven right. And it isn't about being right. It's about helping everyone around you win and having that energy, that positive, wonderful energy that people can notice that you enjoy the moment, that you love life. You have some awe and some gratitude for this miracle that we live in, right? We're floating through space or hurtling through space, depending on who you talk to, at whatever 65,000 miles an hour. Don't hold me to that. I'm not a scientist. In the midst of a void, a vacuum. It's a miracle. You live in a miracle. Are you an acorn? Are you a little nutshell, or are you an oak tree? Limitless is the acorn, except it doesn't know. It has limitless potential, but not all acorns become an oak tree. Are you the acorn or are you the oak? Break out of your shell. Think differently. When you begin to think differently, your life changes. And people notice it about you, but you're the only one that can change. You may believe you have no power. You may believe, like a few guys I know and gals I know, that their subconscious, nothing manifests from their subconscious. That means they're powerless. Are you powerless? Are you a victim of circumstance? Or are you a creator? Experiment with that. You need to find that out for yourself. Change how you show up in front of customers. You'll close more sales because you help people buy with a whole different attitude. When you change, things change. It's not the customer's fault. It's actually not your company's fault. Unless they're out of integrity and they're not doing a good job, they don't have good service. Okay? That's for you to speak up, though, and say, hey, we've got to improve. We have to do a better job. We have to have integrity. We have to do what we say we're going to do. All of those things are important because they project an energy that returns. If you think of life as a boomerang and the energy that you put out, what you give, you get. What you put out returns. It's cause and effect, right? So this is the cause, knocking. My knuckles on wood. That's the cause. I'm going to keep getting the same sound if I don't change. When I change, things change. They have to. So it's the same. It's not just in the physical world. It's the same in our mental energy. People can feel it. Do you think people can feel it? Has anyone ever said to you, Steve, what's the matter? And they were on the phone. They sense it in our voice. They sense it in our energy. If you show up and you're kind of like glum and, hi, yeah, thanks for giving me the time. Wow, you all right? Most prospects, by the way, future customers, I like to call them, most future customers, potential future customers, aren't going to ask you, are you okay? They're just going to, when you leave, they're going to say, wow, I'd never buy from them. They got no energy. They're not enthusiastic about what they do. Have some joy. Have some passion. You can have an idea that might be wrong. So what? You bring ideas. You bring passion. You bring suggestions. Hey, do you mind if we sit and talk a few minutes about an idea I have? Let's figure out together if it's a fit. Do you have a few minutes? I'm giving you time to digest all that. So what I do is help people think differently. I have clients who have changed their thinking and gone from believing they had no power and their subconscious didn't mean anything to realizing they had power. And as they managed their thinking, kind of like going to the gym, as they developed a program of continual exercise of the mind, they saw a whole new world, right? So we go to the gym and we work out and we see a muscle. That's not the biggest muscle, but there's a muscle. You can see a muscle, all right? I can see the effect of going to the gym. In the mind, a lot of people don't see the effect. It takes continual exercise. Breathe when you feel tense, right? Come back down into your body. None of it's true. You're fine in this moment. I can tell you right now, you are fine. Is everything fine? No, maybe not. I happen to believe all things work together for good. If you're open to pay attention, that the master is within, and life itself, the result that shows up is your teacher. Maybe not. I mean, for some people, no. Life is not showing up as a teacher. Life is just life. I'm a circumstance in life. I'm a victim of circumstances. No, don't believe that. You have power. What sounds better? I'm a victim of circumstance. I'm a powerful creator. Which one has more energy? Nothing's my responsibility that shows up in my life, Steve. Really? Really? Start to look at where you're responsible for what shows up in your life. Test it. Don't take my word for it. Test it. What is this trying to teach me? Why did this show up? How did I create this? Ask that question. Even if you don't believe that you created it, start to ask the question. Just do the inquiry like a scientist. Make your life the experiment. As you change, things will change. You'll be amazed. As you stop blaming others for your circumstances, as you stop saying that you have no power, that nothing comes from your subconscious beliefs, you'll find you do have power. Don't take my word for it, though. Experiment. Now, so you're going to bring a new energy with you. You're going to start silently wishing people joy, happiness, and success. And you're going to be there to help them figure out whether you're a fit or not to sell them anything, in the beginning. Figure out if you're a fit. Not every customer is a good fit for you. Hopefully you know what your ideal customer is. They're going to notice the energy. They're going to notice the energy of acceptance, that you accept whatever space they're in. I have had people tell me, Steve, we could never buy from you. We're sorry. Okay. Why is that? Help me understand it. Why are we starting there? And then they'd tell me why. Oh, we have a lot of suppliers and we're going to go to one, and we've had some of these suppliers for 20, 30, 40 years. How could we ever go to you? We've never done business with you. That makes sense. I wouldn't do that either. And then I asked them, so since I'm not going to get the business, what are you looking for? Do you mind telling me? Oh, no, we don't mind. They told me. I said, if this shows up or that shows up during the process, how are you going to get to one, by the way? What is the process? Then they told me the process. I said, okay, so while you're interviewing people, if this scenario shows up or that scenario shows up and you don't get help, if none of your suppliers mention it, and is it a concern of yours? Yes. Oh, it is. Would you mind telling us, Steve? I said, well, don't you have everybody coming in? They said, yeah. I said, if you don't hear it, call me. I let it go. There's big power in that. Most people don't understand it. They want to glom onto it. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get the sale. We're good. That's called commission breath. They run away from that. And so I let those 2 sales go. Actually, there's been more, but these 2 were particularly memorable because they're $1 million sales. Amazing sales. They called me back. I let them go totally. They called me back. So I understand the power of surrender. I understand the power of letting go. I understand the power of giving people space, because not only do I teach it, but I learned it by doing it. It was something I had inside me. I had an innate knowing that this is the way to do it. Even though people were teaching back then, it goes back almost 40 years. I was 4 when I started, in case you're wondering. So it goes back 40 years or so. Even in the last 30 years, 20 years, I noticed that people were teaching features, advantages, benefits. They were teaching spin selling. They were teaching Miller-Heiman, so complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just breathe and trust yourself and be in your body and be real. Have real conversations. And if you're feeling something, you find a way to say it and project your energy in such a way that people say, wow, I don't know what it is about that person, but I really like them. And if I can't buy from them for now, I'll refer them. Boy, I'll tell people about them. Okay, so as I'm teaching this, there's other things to it. You can't learn it in 30 minutes. There's other things to it. But there's very little to remember when you're present and you have integrity. It's principle-based. You have integrity. You learn to give what you want to get. You give what you want to get. You're not a getter. You're not a taker. You're helping people. You're sending out positive energy. You have integrity. You do what you say you're going to do, no matter what, no matter what. All of these principles come back to you because you learn to change. As you change, things change. So these principles create amazing sales. Amazing sales. Amazing sales. And then you'll also learn to work on your mind. You begin to notice that level of thinking above your thinking. You stop believing you're thinking. You become a proactive, creative person rather than a reactive person. So if you're reacting to people or certain events and you're getting angry, they're in control, number one. The events are, and the people. Number two, you're reacting something from the past. It cannot be something new from that. You cannot create something new by reacting, right? Being a reaction. That's old. So by being a reaction, you will not have a new future. And it has to be somewhat uncomfortable in order for you to have a new future, right? The first time you got in a bicycle, was it comfortable? People helped you. There were training wheels. There were your parents, your friends. They helped you, and you got steady eventually. That same feeling has to continue in life. We have to take on things that we feel a little scary, a little uncomfortable. We have to become comfortable with not knowing everything, living in uncertainty, some uncertainty. That's how you grow in this world. That's how you have a new future, unlike the past. So you're learning to manage your energy. You're projecting your energy in a positive way. You're noticing your thinking so that you see where your brain all defaults to. Like you can see when an external event happens, maybe you become sad and you start to say, why am I becoming sad at those external events that you cannot control anyway? You can't control them. Let them be. And you project a positive energy. You're blessing people. You're doing your job. So you're upselling where you can by helping your customers. If you've helped them already, they're going to want to know what else you have to help them. And you're helping your company, and you have that energy of wanting to help and improve the lives and the productive lives of your customers, your customers and your future customers. You're going to help them buy. You're going to determine the fit. And you're going to bring that new energy with you, and you're also going to work on changing your company where your company needs change. Don't complain, do something. Go to the person that can fix the problem that you're complaining about to people who can do nothing, and get something done that's positive. And you'll find that you have a whole new life. It's a life that you can embrace and have fun with because you're doing something. You're not a victim of circumstance. You have power. Now you start to picture your new future. What's it going to look like, right? This future of joy and happiness. What are the ingredients? What from your subconscious? Oh, Steve, my subconscious doesn't have power. Okay. What are your beliefs? Because your beliefs are manifesting your life. Unless you're totally happy, you don't want to grow, you want to be a bump like on a log, maybe like you're like a mushroom. Some people are like mushrooms in life. Okay, you just go along for the ride. Sit on the log. Don't change. Don't do anything different. If that bothers you, that's your brain telling you you should listen to this guy and go experiment with your life. Anything that makes you a little uncomfortable, it's because it scares your ego. It scares what I call monkey mind. It's wow, I got to stretch, I got to change. Wow. Okay, so don't accept everything your brain tells you, and don't react. So spend the rest of the week being proactive and noticing where you want to react and what are the events and the people that you're reacting to. Maybe you journal about it, you write about it. Start to take notes and make your life the experiment. You can change, acorn. You can become the oak. If you need help with it, you call me or you email me. So here's my cell phone. 917-805-1088. 917-805-1088. Call me as soon as you see this. Whatever you disagree with, challenge me. Talk to me about it. I don't mind. Whatever you agree with, whatever you're concerned about, and you want to have some help or questions about, I'll answer the phone and I'll help you. My email is steve@stevelentini.com. I'm going to show you how to spell it right here. steve@stevelentini.com. You just add .com to that. You know how to do that? I know you do. steve@stevelentini.com. I wish you a great week of selling. Manage your energy. Do something new. See what happens. Blessings. See you.